The next day, Shintarō is venting to Towa about something that happened at his job. He suddenly realizes he's never seen Towa get angry, so he asks if she hides her feelings from him. Towa replies that she does get angry sometimes, but she can't remember a single example to give. Shintarō then wonders if all angels are as calm as Towa, but recalls Shu-chan, who has quite the temper. Catching a whiff of delicious food, Shintarō goes to see what Towa is cooking. Towa offers to feed him, but he feels embarrassed and decides to try it on his plate instead. Later, after class, while walking together, Noelle notices a cake shop and excitedly drags Shintarō to try it out, with Tsutsumi following behind. Meanwhile, Towa, returning from the market, sees Shintarō and the gang in the cake shop. When she sees Noelle feeding Shintarō cake, she feels anger for the first time, but quickly stops herself and goes home. Upon arriving home, Shintarō announces he bought cake to share with Towa, but she refuses, surprising him. He asks if she is upset, though Towa tries to deny it. Her sad expression gives it away. She explains that she can't understand her emotions, but thinks maybe she's jealous and tries to bury that feeling by changing her mind about the cake. After eating the tasty dessert, she thanks him. Shintarō then mentions that his summer vacation starts tomorrow and invites her to go out with him. Happy with the invitation, the angel accepts and says how happy she is living with him, leaving Shintarō embarrassed. Elsewhere, Noelle is at home watching TV show, where two girls plan to make 100 friends in their first year of school. Noelle would love to make 100 friends, but when she tried, she messed everything up and stopped going to school. She hasn't overcome this trauma but managed to return to school and get a job. Seeing a movie she wants to watch on her phone, Noelle thinks about inviting Shintarō. Excited, she plans to surprise him at work. The next day, she goes to the restaurant, leaving the boss happy, thinking Noelle even visits him on her day off. Ignoring the boss, she rushes to Shintarō, only to realize she's not the only girl there. Watching the scene, the boss praises Shintarō for living the top G life. Wondering how many girls Shintarō is hanging out with, Noelle moves on and invites Shintarō to see a movie with her. But, unfortunately, Shintarō can only leave at 6 while the movie is at 3:30. Because of this, Noelle apologizes for getting carried away. However, everyone at the table expresses that they want to watch too and decide to go together with Noelle. And the clueless Towa hilariously thinks going to the movies means jumping inside the TV. While all this is happening, Noelle only wants to go with Shintarō but doesn't get the chance to explain, so she ends up going along as they head to the movie. While everyone is chatting, Noelle feels nervous without Shintarō there because she has nothing to chat about with the girls and thinks she should go home. Inside the mall, Towa and Lilishka eat some churros, and Tsutsumi asks Noelle if she's up for splitting popcorn, which she accepts. When everyone is seated, Towa takes Noelle's hand because she's scared, and Noelle doesn't mind it. Finally, the movie begins. Noelle is still a bit nervous hanging out with everyone. At that moment, the movie's climax happens, and everyone is drawn to it. When the movie ends, Towa excitedly shares how much better it is to watch a movie on a giant screen. Noelle agrees that it was a great movie and gets sad as she really wishes Shintarō had been there. Lilishka suggests that when the movie becomes available on a streaming service, they should watch it with Shintarō in the club room. Noelle and Tsutsumi support the idea simultaneously, and they all laugh a little. Then they plan to meet Shintarō at a cafe after his work, while Noelle still can't stop thinking about Shintarō. Having read the manga of the movie, Tsurumi talks about the parts from the manga the movie skipped. Hearing this, Noelle also feels like there were some parts not mentioned in the movie and joins in the chat. With this, Noelle finally starts to join the conversation with the girls, making her realize she can have fun even without Shintarō around. Afterwards, the girls thank Noelle for suggesting the cinema, as they probably wouldn't have had this fun moment together otherwise. Noelle then feels ashamed of herself because she felt jealous of Shintaro's friends earlier, and acted indifferent all afternoon. Wanting to change her behavior, Noelle builds up the courage to thank everyone for going to the cinema with her, even though she is not their friend. The girls are shocked because they thought Noelle already considered them friends. Noelle points out that they're actually Shintaro's friends. Tsutsumi feels a bit hurt thinking about all the study sessions they've had together. Noelle, having no social experience, doesn't understand this concept, and says she hasn't asked anyone to be her friend yet, so they're not her friends. Tsutsumi explains that sometimes you don't need to ask to be friends, and that everyone there is friends with each other, with or without Shintarō around, so they're all friends of Noelle too. Hearing this, Noelle can't contain her emotions and runs off crying with happiness, feeling like she has fulfilled a dream. This is mainly because of Shintarō. However, she wonders if everyone is friends with Shintarō the same way she is, because she gets a totally different feeling when she thinks about him. Suddenly, Shintarō himself appears, asking where the others are. Reflecting on her friends, Noelle discovers that Shintarō is more special to her than just a friend. So she tells Shintarō that she doesn't just see him as a friend, she considers him her best friend. The other girls then arrive, while Noelle is still confused if it's right to consider him her best friend. That night, Shintaro's apartment air conditioner breaks down on an insanely hot day, so he and Towa use the bathtub to cool off. However, another thing heating up is Shintaro's heart when he sees Towa's bare legs, so he quickly gets up and opens the balcony window, but it's also scorching outside. Out of nowhere, Lilishka appears, requesting her usual bite on the neck from Shintarō, but Shintarō is stinky after spending the whole day without a shower. Then Lilishka gives an invitation to both of them to the occult club's summer camp. Shintarō remembers they're not even members of that club and refuses, which shock Lilishka since they're missing out on the hot springs and the beach. She throws a tantrum and begs him until Shintarō asks if there's air conditioning, to which Lilishka gives a thumbs up.